join in. This is new for me. This is the first time I've had to share online, so I've had some great help. So I guess we can get started. My PowerPoint shows up on the next screen over, so if I'm not looking directly at the camera, I'm still paying attention. So my name's Steve Magnus. I'm a fire prevention officer with the Fredericton Fire Department. I've been involved in we come down to the multicultural building and do some fire safety visits that way. Everything's been basically shut down, so hopefully we're looking forward to get back soon, but we can get started on this. So everyone can see this okay? Everything's good, okay?
Yep.
All right, so the first one, normally when we present this, you'd be in a group setting, so a lot of it, there'll be some questions you don't feel like you have to answer, but if you want to, go ahead. So we'll start. Everybody know what the number to call is during an emergency? I'm going to say yes. If you don't know, there's the number. It's 911. If you've been in Canada, this is probably something you're familiar with, but it's very important for people that are moving here new to know that this is a very important number to have, but also to teach adults or children that that it's only to be used during an emergency. So another thing, one thing we like to emphasize is don't be afraid to call 911. It's our job. We're here to help you, and we enjoy doing that. We don't want you to go and think that it's being a bother to us. We're here to help, and that's what we want to do. So just some points here. When you're calling 911, the main thing is remain calm. It'll be a hard situation because nobody calls when things are good, but when you can remain calm, it's easy to get the information transferred and we can get there quick. There's no fee for the fire department to come. It's all free. So if you're at all worried or concerned, please call us. We'd be happy to help. Again, only call 911 for emergencies. For all other questions or concerns, there's a city number of 460-2020. So if you have any questions about fire safety that aren't covered here, feel free to call that, or you can reach out to your host, and she will send me questions and I'll be happy to answer them. And then again, it's kind of a double. Teach everyone in your family the importance of 911 and how to call it if an emergency comes up. So 2 things we need to memorize if we have to call for help. These things are really important. Your address, where you live, your street and your house number, and your phone number. Sometimes the phone can get disconnected when you call. It's important that you know your phone number so that they can call you back should something happen. And the address, again, just the number on your phone so that we know how to get there quicker. Or the number on your house, sorry. I can't see any hands raised, but do you have any of these in your home?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
So this is a smoke alarm, very important. Surprisingly, a lot of homes we go to in the city, whether we're going there for work or just for visiting, there's a lot of places that don't have smoke alarms, or the batteries don't work, they're not working properly. So this is a really important item to keep track of. So where should we have them in your home? So the building code, what we would go by at work is they require a smoke alarm, like the one we saw in the picture before, to be in every bedroom of your home. So each bedroom needs its own smoke alarm, and then also one in the hallway outside of the bedrooms. If your house has more than one floor, like in the top picture, they want you to have a smoke alarm on the top, middle, and basement. So one on each floor as well, and that kind of covers your whole home. Does that sound clear? Is that okay? Basically, the important one, what they say is where you sleep. Make sure you can hear the beep of the smoke alarm wherever you're sleeping. That's going to be your lifesaver. So it's important to make sure they're working. So we'll talk a little bit here about how the maintenance of them goes. So anybody know how often or when we should check our smoke alarms? Anybody want to guess?
3 months.
3 months? It's close. So it's once a month. So when we test the smoke alarm, basically we're going to test it by pushing the button. There's a test button and it's going to alarm. So when we test that every month, if it doesn't beep, it's not working. So if it doesn't beep, what do we need to do to fix that?
Change battery.
Change the battery. That's right. So basically, when the time changes, part of your maintenance is we recommend when the clock changes back to change your batteries. So it's an easy way to remember that way. Smoke alarms, the sensors in them, they do wear out. So they're only good for 10 years from the time that you put it up. So an easy way to tell is on the smoke alarm itself, there's usually a sticker that'll have a date. It'll tell you the expiry date. It's good for 10 years. If there's no date, one way you can tell is the plastic will go to like a yellowed texture. You can tell that they're quite old. It would be worth replacing it. If you don't know how old it is, it's better just to have a new one and then you know you're safe. But again, the important thing is testing it monthly and making sure it works. So this is an important part. So know the sound of your smoke alarm and teach everyone in your home what to do when it beeps. So whether you have young kids in your home or you have older adults or whatever age range, it's important to have a plan to know that when that alarm beeps, everybody's already on the same page and it's not you're not guessing what to do. And don't take for granted that when it happens, you'll figure it out, because it happens very fast and it's good to have a plan before. So make sure everybody knows what to do. So the next little thing we'll go to here is heating fire safety. So this time of year, this is really important. Heating is probably one of the top 3 causes of fires. So an important thing is keeping your bed and furniture away from heating appliances, even if the heater is turned off. Sometimes we see beds or dressers or carpets on the floor pushed into the heater, and some people say, no, it's okay, the heater's turned off. But it could, whether it's somebody doesn't know and they go and turn the heat on, or maybe one of a child could turn the heat on, and then it's just better to keep things away from it all the time. The portable heater, like what you see in the picture, one that plugs in and just sits on the floor, they would probably be one of the higher causes of, and they're less safe. Anytime you leave the room or go to bed, it's important to turn it off and unplug it. And again, with that, keep a 3-foot zone. So you'll see it in the next picture. There'll be a circle around the heater. Should keep kids and pets and anything flammable out of that range. So we'll go to that. It might, yeah, I think it's the next one. So there you can kind of see the circle there. The clothes basket's outside, the sofa is outside, and the curtains. So it's just more of a safety thing to keep 3 feet or 1 meter clearance around those. Am I going too fast, or can everybody, are we okay?
Yes, I'm okay.
Okay. And if, yeah, any questions, feel free, or we can ask them at the end. It's up to you. So this is just some more tips. So it says home heating on average is an estimated of 56,000 fires. And that's between 2009 and 2013, and also 470 deaths. And that's just from heating equipment. So it's quite high. I don't know if you can see my mouse as I move it, but again, it mentions here about keeping everything 3 feet away. Again, the space heater, turn it off when you're leaving the room or when you're sleeping. Never plug it into an extension cord. These take a lot of power. The extension cord would be your weaker link. Your best is to plug it directly into the wall socket or right into the wall itself. Don't use your oven to heat your home. We ran into this at work last week. There was an apartment that the furnace wasn't working, and we got a call that they were using their oven to heat their home. It's they're not designed for that. It's not safe. Again, for your heaters on flat level ground, most of the floors are going to be okay. You don't want to set it on a table where if the table gets bumped, the heater can fall off onto the floor, because then you could have your heating elements blowing heat directly on your carpet, which would be a definite fire hazard. Have your heating system inspected. So whether you have a wood stove chimney, it's important to have it cleaned by a professional each year, and install this mentions carbon monoxide alarms. So carbon monoxide is a gas that you can't see or smell, but it comes from partial combustion. So if you have in like smoke, or if you have an oil furnace, gas, it's important to have a carbon monoxide alarm. And again, in the bottom, if the cord's damaged, don't use it. So we'll go to the next really important one with fire safety is bedroom windows. So most everyone has a bedroom window in their bedroom. It's important to know how to open this window and the size of your window. So there's a certain size that has to meet code for egress, not only for you exiting the window, but for our guys entering if there is a fire situation. Now, if you have concerns about the size of your window in your house, feel free to send a message, and I can send you a more information on exactly how to check it. Or if that's something that you're concerned about, we can come and check it for you to make sure it's okay. So the bedroom windows, all bedrooms require a window. So you shouldn't have anybody sleeping in an area where there's no bedroom. And the window should be able to open without any special knowledge, or you shouldn't need any tools. It should be very easy to open. This one's in bold. Do not screw your windows closed. So we ran into this, whether it's kids going outside through the windows, or one family, the children weren't used to snow, so they were opening the window and bringing snow in the house, so they screwed it closed. It solves one problem, but also it's very dangerous if you have a fire, because you won't be able to open that window. So you want to teach your family that windows are an important part of your escape plan, and practice how to use them. So if your house is on the ground floor, you can practice with your kids how they can open the window, maybe how they can push a chair, and how they can practice to climb out. So it's important stuff to think about before you need to use it. So in the kitchen is another big one where we have a lot of fires. And there's a lot of areas in the kitchen that are dangerous as well, that it's important to take a little bit extra time and prepare for that. So does anybody see anything wrong in this picture?
Towel paper.
Papering, yeah.
Yeah, so
Around towel.
this picture we did for Fire Prevention Week. So this is actually in your building at Chef Rick's kitchen. So that we were teaching people kitchen fire safety. So the paper towel and the cloth on the stove, both of these are not good for fire safety. So these could both start a fire. Sometimes we go to a lot of kitchens that have a lot of stuff piled on top of the stove. It's very easy to turn the burner on by mistake, or if the power goes out and you set something on the stove, when the power comes on, we've had stuff burn that way that it still turns on. So it's important to keep your stove clear and not have anything on it. So the important one with grease fires, do not add water. If you add water, it's going to make the flames grow, and it's going to make it a lot worse situation than what it is. The important thing for a grease fire, we'll see it in the next picture, but keep a lid, and you want to put the lid on the top, which will smother the fire. If you put water on it, the fire will grow. If you put a lid on it, the fire will go out. So then we'll talk about an oven fire. If there's a fire inside your oven, keep the door closed and turn off the oven. So turn off the heat and leave the door closed and call for help. So again, in this picture, you can see on the side, they have their spoons and their knives. You want to keep anything that can catch fire, such as utensils or the knife block or the towels, maybe a cloth on your counter. Keep those clear from the stove. Those can cause problems. So again, this one here, this is from British Columbia is where I got the picture, but you can see in the picture, he's using the lid. So he's got a grease fire in his pan. He's not going to add water. He's going to put the lid on top of it, and that'll put out the fire. So does anyone see what's wrong with this picture?
Disattending the stuff, maybe?
Yep. So I'll bring my little arrow over. Basically, this is Sparky. He's our mascot for fire safety. He's cooking, but he's definitely distracted and not paying attention. So unattended cooking is probably is the highest cause of cooking fires. So we'll talk about cooking here. So if you're sleepy or have consumed alcohol, don't use the stove or the stovetop. Don't cook. It's really important. You got to pay attention. So if you're frying, boiling, grilling, broiling food, if you leave the kitchen, it's important to have maybe use your phone for a timer, set a cooking timer. Some people put a towel on their shoulders so they can remember that they're cooking. Because if the doorbell rings, you go and answer the door, maybe your friend is there, you might talk for longer than you think, and it's easy to forget that your food is on the stove. So the best bet is if you're cooking, stay in the kitchen. If you're simmering, baking, or roasting food, we know you can't stay in the kitchen the whole time that you cook a turkey or a roast. Make a timer to check it regularly. Stay in your home. You basically just want something to remind you that you're cooking, that you don't get distracted, because it's very easy to forget. So the last thing on my list here is home fire drills. So this picture here, not many people are going to have pictures like this in their home unless you have kids that have drawn them. This would be more if you go to a hotel, they have the escape plan. They're required to have it on the back of every door, or maybe in your apartment building, there'll be this in the hallway that tells you where your exits are. So this is just an example, but if you live in a building that has one of these, it's really important to take note of it and to know your ways out of the house. So when we practice our fire drills, this part here may seem kind of simple and easy, but it's really important to practice, because what we want is you to take this home and practice it with those in your household as well. So I will, when this is done, I will I'm going to make a checklist that you can take home and practice with, and I'll send it through that it can get emailed out to you just as a reminder of these things. So the first thing you can see in this picture, the smoke alarm, the smoke coming in his room, that smoke alarm is going to beep because we learned how to test it earlier. So the important part is what you want to teach those in your house is when that smoke alarm rings, it means to get out and stay out. So a lot of times if we do it with kids, we'll get them to repeat that to us. But it's important, if you have a fire alarm in your building or your smoke alarm goes off, don't ignore it. It's important to go outside. All too often we go to buildings, the alarm is ringing and people stay inside because they think it's okay. It's important to take every alarm serious and go outside. So the second thing here, it comes along with what we're planning about your bedroom windows, knowing your second way out. So what we get kids to do, or what you could do for your house, is we draw a map of the house and we put all the doors and all the windows, and we get everyone to think about it and to plan, no matter which room you're in, to know 2 ways to get outside if an emergency happens. And the other important part is this one, they use a tree. At my house, we use the mailbox in the front, but it's important to know where your meeting place is so that when the smoke alarm goes or there's an emergency, everybody goes to the same spot so that when the fire department comes, you can tell us where everybody is and we'll know that everybody's safe. So the third one here, it's got say get low and stay low. So as you can see in the top of the picture here, the smoke, it's going to stay up like that. So as he's down crawling, that's going to be your safest place if you have a fire, and you can crawl to your closest exit. So when we come into the home, if there's a house fire, we don't walk up high because all the smoke and gas stays up high in the room, like in the picture, but we're also crawling, so we can crawl down below, and the visibility will be a bit better, and also the heat will be much lower, so you're safer down below. So it's important to teach that once you learn your 2 ways out, that if there's smoke, you got to get low and stay low. And again, this one, they do have the mailbox. In the other picture, it was the tree. So the important part here is with your family to make sure that when you do your fire drill, that you have a safe meeting place that you're going to go to when you go outside, whether it be your neighbor's house or just a certain landmark in the yard. The important part is to just make sure everyone goes to the same place and that you're away from the danger. So again, this is kind of our 4 main points for that this is the part I'm going to get you so you can take home, and we want you to practice this at home. We want everybody to do it, just to keep people safer in the event of emergency. So again, the smoke alarm, get out and stay out. Know 2 ways out of your house. If there's smoke, get low and stay low. And we all need a safe meeting place at our house. So these are good talking points to talk over with those in your house. Again, the kitchen safety, just keeping things clear around the stovetop, and the 3-foot space around the heaters, and keeping the space by your mattresses and your furniture away from heaters as well. So I think that's about everything that I have. And if there's some questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, Stephen. That was great. I enjoyed the presentation so much.
Okay, and was it clear, understandable?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Good.
Thank